Hey friends, it's me, Amberly. I hope that you guys are having a good wrap up to your weekend. I hope you're enjoying the recipes and looking forward to the recipes ahead next week. I wanted to hop on because I'm seeing a lot of conversations about certain foods as being good or bad. And I wanted to remind us about our conversation with Duran, where he reminded us that foods are neither good nor bad. Now, in the society we live in, we hear things like good and bad foods, healthy and unhealthy foods thrown around a lot. And so it's no wonder that we do this. I still do this, right? We all do this. But I want to challenge you to reframe your thoughts around some of these foods. For instance, I'm seeing a lot of talk about how carbohydrates are bad. Vegetables have carbohydrates. Fruits have carbohydrates. What I think that you guys are talking about are refined carbohydrates. And guess what? There's still space for these foods in a healthy diet. So that's what I want to talk about, is kind of dropping those limiting beliefs about these foods. When you see me replacing rice with cauliflower rice in a menu item, a recipe, it is not because rice is bad. We are replacing that because cauliflower has more nutrients in it than, say, white rice, okay? Later on this week, we have a cauliflower mac and cheese. The base of that dish is still macaroni, but we're throwing in cauliflower to give it more nutritional value. So instead of thinking about carbohydrates as bad, I would like us to reframe it, right? So just like we talked about cookies on Saturday and how that can be a real problem food for some of us. So the thing is, we can still have cookies. We could have cookies every day if you wanted, if you had one cookie. So here's your challenge should you choose to accept it. I'd like you to grab a journal or a piece of paper or whatever and a pen. And I want you to really write this down. Don't type it. Don't just think about it. Write it down. That's how we get those connections in our brain. Okay? So I want you to think about whatever your problem food is. For me, it's probably chocolate covered pretzels. I love them. Okay, and I can really go to town on them. So instead of thinking to yourself, chocolate covered pretzels or cookies or ice cream or pasta or rice is bad, I want you to start to reframe it. So first off, allow those thoughts, those first line thoughts to come to mind and write down all those words. Okay, unhealthy, bad, sugary, whatever those words are. And then I want you to turn those thoughts into the sentences that come up. Chocolate covered pretzels will make me fat. Ice cream's going to feel heavy. Write down whatever those thoughts are that come to your mind about whatever your problem food is. Okay, and then I want you to start poking holes in those beliefs. So start to reframe it. Change the dialogue. Start to write down, there is room for ice cream in my diet. Pasta in moderation is okay. I'll feel satisfied if I have a little bit of rice. And that, my friends, is the key, okay? So when we tell ourselves that something is off limits, we may be able to have willpower for a little while, but eventually that monster in our head is going to take over and we're going to rebel, and we're going to rebel hard. But if you allow room in your diet for these foods in moderation, then you can feel satisfied. So what I want you to do is, after you've written down these thoughts, after you've written down your thought distortions and you've reframed it, I want you to make it specific to this food. I want you to write down, it is okay for me to eat ice cream in moderation. I can have a half cup of ice cream twice a week, or whatever it is that you want to do. And make a plan. You know, they say, fail to plan, plan to fail. There really is no such thing as failure, so I don't always love that, because there's no failure. There's just learning, right? That's all there is to it. That being said, if you make a plan to incorporate these things into your diet, then you will set yourself up for success. So I gave you a recipe for cookies this week. You'll notice I did not put it in the menu. And there is a calorie budget. I think there was a calorie discussion on last Saturday on our wellness kickoff, and I'm gonna do another video on that later. But for now, let's just talk about trying to stop these labels on our foods. So if you wanted to have a cookie every night, you could. If you know that you're gonna wanna have 3 cookies in one sitting, maybe you eliminate one or both of your snacks for the day, and then you account for those cookies later on, if weight loss is your goal. If weight loss is your goal, you're gonna wanna stay within that 15 to 1600 calorie range. That's gonna be good for most of us. If maintenance is your goal and you just wanna feel healthy, then it's probably okay for you to have a couple of cookies at night. So anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I'm gonna sign off. But you guys have a wonderful wrap up to your Sunday. Don't label your foods, try not to stress, and keep posting on the Facebook page. I'm loving seeing all your comments, okay? We're here to support one another, and it's working. All right, you guys. Love and light. See you soon. Mwah.